All right. Give me 1 second here. I'm using a brand new streaming function called StreamYard. So I'm having to check that that's working, check that this is working. Here we go. So welcome to the Self-Leadership Reading Club. My name is Ella Bates. And what is a reading club? Well, it means that you don't have to buy the book. We buy it for you. We do part of the reading, and then we discuss it as a group. How cool is that? So what we're doing right now is we're reading the book, The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. The reason why we've chosen this is that leadership skills are more critical than ever before. If you're watching this live, we are April the 7th, 2020. It's during the COVID, and part of leadership is walking that talk. And you can only walk the talk if you're sharpening your own saw, meaning that you are continuously improving and then passing that knowledge on to the people that you are indeed leading. So I welcome you. Please, if you are here, say hi. Feel free to comment, ask any questions at any time. I have my 3 chats going all at once. It's the first time using this software, so I'm pretty excited. So today's principle is principle number 10. Can you believe it's the 10th episode? I can't. It is release the brakes, which I love that line. Releasing the brakes is what we should all be doing. But what is this and what is it in context with? So let's have a read here. Everything you want is just outside of your comfort zone. So true. Robert Allen said that, who co-wrote the 1 Minute Millionaire. You've read that book. Have you ever been driving your car and suddenly you realize that you'd left the emergency brake on? Did you push down harder on the gas to overcome the drag of the brake? No, of course you didn't. You simply released the brake, and with no extra effort, you started to go faster. Most people drive through life with their psychological emergency brake on, and they hold on to negative images about themselves or suffer the effects of powerful experiences that they haven't yet released. They stay in the comfort zone entirely of their own making, and they maintain inaccurate beliefs about reality or harbor guilt and self-doubt. And when they try to achieve their goals, these negative images and pre-programmed comfort zones, let's remember that, pre-programmed comfort zones, we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. They always cancel out their good intentions no matter how hard you try. Successful people, on the other hand, have discovered that instead of us increased willpower as the engine to power their success, it's simply easier to release the brakes by letting go of and replacing their limiting beliefs and changing their self-image. So it's all about getting out of your comfort zone, which I love. It's a meaty, meaty topic, this. Think of your comfort zone as a prison that you live in, a largely self-created prison, and it consists of the collection of can'ts, musts, and must-nots, and other unfounded beliefs that form all the negative thoughts and the decisions that you've accumulated and reinforced during your lifetime. Perhaps you've been trained to limit yourself. Have you heard of limiting beliefs before, right? Pop it in the comments. What do you think about that? Here's a great story. In fact, a friend of mine, Barbara Jasper, once shared this with me, and it's stuck with me so long that I've been teaching this particular story now for about 6 years, maybe 7 years. 7 years, yeah. It's titled, Don't Be as Dumb as an Elephant. A baby elephant is trained at birth to be confined to a very small space. Its trainer will tie its leg with a rope to a wooden post planted deep into the ground. This confines the baby elephant to an area determined by the length of the rope, which is the elephant's comfort zone. Though the baby elephant will initially try to break the rope is so strong, and so the baby elephant learns that it cannot break the rope. It learns that it has to stay in the area defined by the length of rope. When the elephant grows up to be a massive 5-ton colossus elephant that could easily break anything, let alone a rope, it doesn't even try because it learned as a baby that it couldn't break the rope. In this way, the largest elephant can be confined by the puniest little rope. Perhaps this also describes you, still trapped in a comfort zone by something as puny and weak as the small rope and stake that controls the elephant. Except your rope is made up of the limiting beliefs and images that you received and took on when you were young. If this describes you, the good news is that you can change your comfort zone. Well, how do you do that? There's 3 different ways that Jack Canfield talks about, and we'll talk more about in just a moment. You can use affirmations and positive self-talk to affirm already having what you want. doing what you want and being the way that you want. You can create powerful and compelling new internal images of having, doing, and being what you want, and you can simply change your behavior. So let's talk for a second a little bit about the elephant story. As I was reading that, and as I heard it the first time from Barbara, I remember thinking afterwards, what is my rope? What was I pre-programmed to believe back in the past? And I need to change things for my future. My great friend, Michelle Scrooger Brown, who may in fact be watching, and I'm totally going to plug her book. Hang on a second. Totally going to plug this because I have quoted to her many, many times for the last few years. I've learned it for a long time now. She actually created a book called In the Past. In the Past. And the idea behind this is every time you say something, for example, oh, I'm always falling over, or I never seem to get a break, or this always happens to me, things like that, totally limiting beliefs, meaning that you're putting that limit on yourself. Nobody's told you that this happens to you. Maybe it happens just as frequently as it does to other people. But if you change your self-talk to be, in the past, I used to be quite clumsy. In the past, I felt like that happened to me. In the past, in the past. So each time you find yourself saying a negative phrase like, I can never seem to get my head around Excel, you can start by saying, in the past, I didn't get my head wrapped around Excel, but now in the future, I'm growing. And this is a huge thing to do. I mean, Jack Canfield talks about affirmations, and I hope I'm not infringing copyright when I copy a little bit from this book here, Michelle. So tell me off if you want to. I'm just going to show one page of this. This book is all affirmations, taking you from how you talk about yourself in the present tense and the future tense. Look at these beautiful, look at this artwork. Isn't this stunning? Anyway, the affirmation is, I choose something different. I choose something different. And the affirmation is also, I am making peace with and accepting me. Because your current me, the current you, is somebody who you want to be. It's not who somebody said that you were. Think about this. When you were born, you were told maybe what religion to follow. You were told if you were male or female. We all know now that how you feel and how you are inside mentally is exactly who you are and who you're meant to be. Maybe you were told and encouraged to marry a man or a woman, and maybe that's not your intention. Maybe you were encouraged that this is the correct way of dressing where you're from. Maybe this is the correct way of eating where you're from, where in fact, these are just belief systems put on us. And as we get older, we decide whether or not we want to follow these same belief systems. So let's say, for an example, somebody tells you when you're younger, women can't drive. So you go, okay, well, I trust this person. They're a mentor, they're a leader, they're a parent, they're a teacher, whatever it is. Okay, so women can't drive, right? And then you carry this on as you go into your future life. That's totally limiting your belief system. Whereas women drivers are in fact safer than men. It is absolutely proven from an insurance standpoint. Now, that being said, maybe women are more nervous at driving because of this limiting belief put on us. And I want you to think, and I totally invite you after this is finished, to sit down, get a piece of paper and say to yourself, what belief systems were given to me? What was inherited? What was traditional? And is that the truth now? Is this the actual truth? Have I actually experienced it? Right? Bias, conscious or unconscious, we can really uncover these. It's quite interesting. But what I'm asking you to do is invite you to have a look at what is limiting you. The only thing that's stopping you is from you. You. I'm pointing at you with a big finger, and I don't like to do this. Usually I do this. But you are the only one stopping you from getting outside of your comfort zone. Now, I hear you cry, Ella, it feels very hard when I'm out of my comfort zone. It feels difficult, it feels challenging, and maybe you procrastinate about this. I want to share with you a really cool exercise that Tony Robbins once did in one of his events, and I use it all the time now in my training. It's kind of cool. So what I want you to do is I want you to go as if you're about to clap. So I want you to clap your hands and hold your hands together. Okay, so you've clapped your hands, great. I want you to do it again and stop. And I want you to notice what thumb is on the very top. Is it your right thumb or is it your left thumb? Okay, I want you to be really, really conscious of this. And now it's to stretch your arms wide. And I want you to purposely, when you come in to clap, put your other thumb over the top and stop. How does that feel? Does that feel uncomfortable? Does it feel strange? Does it feel wrong? Does it feel different? Right? Of course it does, because it's out of the norm. It's out of your comfort zone. Now what I want you to do is keep clapping, but clap with this unnormal thumb over the top. And over time, you'll see it doesn't actually feel as weird. And if you were to create time in your day-to-day to just keep practicing this, over time, this is going to become really normal to have a change of the thumb on top. It's as simple as that. But we're creatures of habit. We like routine. And the reason why is our brain tells us that we're looking for consistencies. And we're looking at that because your brain's job is to keep you safe, right? Every 5 seconds, asleep or awake, your brain is saying, am I safe? Am I in danger? So when it sees a consistency, it sees a pattern, it sees a routine, it says, oh, this is nice, this is comfortable. It doesn't put me in danger. And danger doesn't always mean that you're going to die and it's the end of the world, right? Danger can very, very simply mean it's going to hurt in some way. I might have to give something up, like chocolate or cheese, or I might have to gain something that I've no experience behind. Ooh, that is a bit nerve-wracking. I don't want to do that. By having these continual limiting beliefs, you are staying in your comfort zone and you are not growing. Now imagine this. What happens to a plant if you don't feed it? What happens to a plant if you don't give it water? It dies, right? If you are not growing, you are dying. You want to evolve in some way. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to read 500 books a day, watch all the podcasts, watch all the videos, go to all the live events. It doesn't mean that at all whatsoever. What it means is try and be a better version of yourself each day. And what can you do? And today's affirmation for me was, everything I choose to do will create something awesome. That was today's affirmation. I set an intention, should I say, more clearly, in the morning. So I decided that if it wasn't awesome, I'm not doing it. Very, very simple. Doesn't feel awesome? Not doing it today. That was my affirmation, because I want things to feel awesome. Because I had an off day the other day. I'm sure you all have off days. So yeah, so comfort zone, limiting beliefs. Oh, this is interesting, right? Any comments? Pop them in here. There's some people saying hi to me and some messages. Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it. So let's talk a little bit more about what Jack Canfield says. And he says to stop recreating the same experience over and over. An important concept that successful people understand is that you are never, ever as stuck as you think. Never, never, never. You just keep recreating the same experience over and over by thinking the same thoughts. The same limiting beliefs are maintained. You're speaking the same words, and often you do the same things. And too often we get stuck into an endless loop even. Just had soup for lunch. An endless loop of reinforcing behavior, which gets us stuck in a constant downward spiral. And when you are going down, you're dying. You want to come back up, right? Our limiting thoughts create images in our mind. And those images govern our behavior, which in turn reinforces that limiting thought. Imagine thinking that you're going to forget your lines when you have to give a presentation at work. The thought stimulates a picture of you forgetting your lines. The image creates an experience of fear. The fear then clouds your clear thinking, which makes you forget one of your key lines, which reinforces your self-talk that you can't speak in front of groups. And each time you do it, and each time you talk to someone about presenting, you are forgetting your lines and saying that I always seem to forget my lines. The way to remember this, I've said it in episodes 2 and 3, we talked about it. Your brain does not know the difference between imagination and reality. Let me repeat that again. Your brain does not know the difference between imagination and reality. And so because of that, when you're daydreaming and imagining something awful happening to you, your body gets flooded with those hormones, so that when you actually get into that situation, your brain goes, oh, we're here again, and floods you with those hormones in advance. It's catastrophizing at its best, and it serves you no good purpose. Okay? Great quote here. 2 quotes. Cheesy quotes. I have to share cheesy quotes. If you know me, you know I love them. The significance problems we face cannot be solved by the same level of thinking that created them. Let me repeat that, because I've lost my words today. Well, the significant problems that we face cannot be solved by the same level of thinking that created them. Albert Einstein. If you want things to be different, you have to do things differently. You have to think differently. You have to imagine differently. You have to speak differently. You have to be different if you want things to be different, which is why when women go through change, they cut their hair. when guys go through change, they buy things, right? You want things to be different. You have to do things differently. Changing your self-talk with affirmations. Let's talk about that again. Is there anyone out there that uses affirmations? Share your experiences. I'd love to hear from you in the comments there. Jim Carrey said, I've always believed in magic. When I wasn't doing anything in this town, I'd go up every night and sit on a Mulholland Drive, look out at the city, stretch my arms and say, everybody wants to work with me. I'm a really good actor. I have all kinds of great movie offers. And I just repeat those things over and over again, literally convincing myself that I had a couple of movies lined up. I drive down that hill ready to take the world on, saying, movie offers are out there for me. I just don't hear them yet. It was like total affirmations, antidotes to the stuff that stems from my family background. So what is an affirmation? I've written some couple of things down here, and Jack Canfield goes more into it into his book that you can read later, but here's some things from me and things that have worked. An affirmation is making a statement of something that you already are. Okay, whether it's not something you believe you are in the future, it's something that already are. So I'm just checking here the comments for you. That's already happening, that you are already doing. For example, if people have said, you're not worthy of that kind of money, how dare you charge X amount of dollars for your time? You can say out loud, I am absolutely worthy of X amount of dollars. I give that amount of value. And if you keep saying this to yourself, you're going to believe it. Saying it is halfway there. You're going to believe it, right? It becomes true because your brain goes, oh, I am worthy. Yeah, I'm saying it to myself. Your self-talk is as important as the talk that comes from other people. So say it as in you already have it, okay? Talk about what you do want and not what you don't want. Where focus flows, energy grows. If you've heard that phrase from the lovely Tony Robbins, right? Don't talk about things like, I don't want to panic about flying. It's not a great affirmation. An affirmation is, I love to fly. It's a beautiful experience, right? Make sure you're talking about what you do want. Be specific. So if you are going to talk about being worthy, what are you worthy of? I am worthy of love, right? I am worthy of an abundance of money. I am worthy of an abundance of friendships and people caring about me all around, right? Yes, include a power word. Jack Canfield talks about including an emotional word. Yes, I agree with that. What I think you should do is put in a powerful word, something that's really like pow, like, yeah, I really believe that. Like, I am dynamic. So instead of talking about I have energy when I'm on the stage, I am dynamic when I am on that stage. Hear the difference, feel the difference in the power of your words. It's huge. Time to let go of what doesn't serve you. If you would like to have, I've got a worksheet on limiting beliefs. If you'd like to have that, email me, ella@ellabates.com. I will include it for those who subscribe for the show notes. I will include it in there too. I want to leave you with this. We are 2 minutes out. If you have a question, please ask it. I want to leave you with this. But remember, if you look at all the studies from the people who have passed away and all the nurses that have spent time with people as they leave this world, they always say the regrets aren't the things that they did. They are the things that they chose not to do out of fear. It's time to step out of your comfort zone and experience some of the greatness that life can give you. So if you would like to do that workshop, give me a shout, worksheet even. We will be here same time, 2 p.m., Monday to Friday, with our Self-Leadership Reading Club, where we'll be looking at the 11th principle, which sneak preview is see what you want and get what you see. I thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for your emails as well. If you'd like to know anything more, you can drop me a line, ella@ellabates.com, where we take your learning and make it a magical place and fill those knowledge gaps for you and your organizations. Thanks for joining us, guys.